Greetings, I am Toglin, Hell's Harlequin, but you may call me Tog. Today, we are going to learn about male privilege.
Dear future husband, how are you doing, babe? Are you doing alright? Are you doing good? 'Cause I wanna know.
I'm doing fine, thank you, but I don't have any plans to become your future husband.
Channeling a little bit of Glozell over there. How are you doing, Sayang? I've been thinking about you a lot. I know I say this in every single video, right? I mean,
Not even in a relationship and you're already clingy. Quite the catch, aren't you?
there will be a lot of things we don't have in common. There will be privilege that, because like I said, I don't know your background, babe. I don't know your racial background. I don't know much about you, until you come into my life.
Oh my, you're a strange one.
So there's a lot of things about your privilege and my privilege where I don't know where they meet. I don't know where the intersections are.
You just had to get all intersectional, didn't you?
But today's privilege, the one thing I'm pretty sure we have in common, hence the future husband title, is male privilege.
So it seems you've discovered your unpleasant nature.
Now, this is obviously assuming you are a cisgendered male. If you're a trans man, then you would still have male privilege, but you would have come into it a lot later in life.
If male privilege is so fabulous, then why does male to female trans exist?
Having said that, let's talk about male privilege.
Finally!
Male privilege, I literally thought about this on the way here before I was going to record, so let's start with that.
Would you kindly get to the point?
Male privilege is assuming that every single girl is into you.
I was unaware that narcissism is now considered a privilege.
And when whatever she does is leading you on, and when she rejects you, you got friend zoned. There's a literal term for it. Being rejected. Friend zoned.
Have you seen how a lot of women react when they're rejected? Simply saying you were friend zoned seemed mighty gracious in comparison.
Male privilege is being able to go on more school trips than my sister. Because I'm a boy, so I get more chances to go. And it's okay.
If this one is true, then I would say that's an issue with your school. Unless, of course, you get to go on more trips because you're involved in sports or other school activities, not because you're male.
Male privilege is being out much later. I don't have a curfew. And that is only because I'm a boy.
That seems like a matter to take up with your parents rather than society.
Male privilege is that when I went to college, I never got lectures as much as my sister does. Or did, about safety and the people you mix with. And sometimes it's the same thing, just repeated again and again. Because male privilege.
You never being informed of the fact that men are more likely to be the victim of assault than a lady is seems more like a disadvantage than a privilege to me.
Male privilege is not hearing attack horror stories. I'm not going to hear a horror story about how this guy got attacked here, or how this guy got raped here, or how this guy got abused here, what happened to this guy who had acid thrown at his face. No horror stories.
But men can fall victim of these tragic horror stories. I find it most unfortunate that awareness is not raised of such things.
Male privilege is there is less discussion about my weight or how I look than my sister and my female cousins.
That's just because people would rather internalize their judgment of men rather than vocalizing it.
Male privilege is there's actually also less discussion about my skin tone or whether I've gotten too dark and things like that. Sure, it exists, but it's very rare.
I'm starting to think the people you associate with are just really catty, and that's coming from me.
Male privilege is there is less. Actually, you know what? There is no conversation about marrying me off. Whereas my sister and my female cousins, as soon as they turned about 18, 19, some of my aunts bring it up.
You titled your video Dear Future Husband. Probably your family doesn't see a point in pressuring you. You're already self-motivated.
Male privilege is that at family events, this literally happened to me, and I remember having a conversation with my mom about it, babe, where I was just, no, this is unacceptable.
Oh, tell us this egregious offense that is so unacceptable.
Where the family function finished, and then my aunt said this, but she literally said, okay, all the girls go into the kitchen to clean up. Nobody called the boys. And some of the boys were much older than the girls. So it's not even an age thing. The boys were just not called. They could play and do whatever shit they wanted. The girls had to go and clean. Male privilege.
Considering the build-up, that payoff was disappointing. Your aunt sounds like she's very traditional. I do have a question, though. How many of your female relatives are asked to move heavy things or chop firewood when there's guys around?
Male privilege is that men shouldn't be in the kitchen, apparently.
Hold on. Shut up.
Male privilege is that there's also less questions about who I'm with. Where, who, what, where, when, why, all of that.
So it's a privilege to have people unconcerned about you.
Male privilege is that I'm always assumed that I am the leader, that I am taking charge, because I am male.
Or it could be because you're bossy.
Male privilege is that I get hired more, I get promoted more, and I get looked up to more.
I trudged through the internet to see if there's any validity behind this claim. I found study after study that contradicted each other on the gender bias in employment. To be honest, I have no idea which gender actually has the advantage.
Male privilege is that, I don't know if you've noticed this bit, if you're in a group of people, say you're the only guy in a group of girls, and you go for dinner together, 99% of the time that when you call for the bill will come to the guy.
I'm not exactly sure how being obligated to cover someone else's costs is a privilege on your end.
Male privilege is the expectation that a man cannot show emotion, that a man cannot cry.
Over here, Uncle Ben.
Because masculinity is so fragile. Male privilege is that I can walk out of the house looking like shit in a sarong, in slippers, with, eye bags and pimples and all of those things, and nobody will probably comment. Whereas if a lady were to walk out in any of those things, habis, fashion police will come out. I mean, have you ever seen a woman walk out in sarong?
Try watching the People of Walmart videos. It'll make you wish the fashion police were a real thing. And there is plenty of female offenders.
Male privilege is I get to walk from point A to point B without anyone catcalling, saying anything about my body parts, or whispering, or even saying horribly foul things to me that they would honestly never say to their mother or their sister, or if any of their family members were around. So I don't know why, men do shit like that.
That doesn't have much to do with your gender. It just means you're not attractive enough to get catcalled, and you're not hideous or eccentric enough for people to say rude things about you.
Male privilege is that I don't get comments like, hey, why you look so tired, when you decide to go to work one day without makeup.
Tell that to Onision.
Male privilege is that I get to walk around topless.
Alright, you got me there.
Male privilege is that we are not expected to know how to cook or clean.
Okay, now you're just more or less repeating yourself.
Male privilege is that when you walk, people walk out of your way. And some men expect people to walk out of their way.
Male or female, people generally walk out of your way if they're paying attention, especially if you look like you're in a hurry.
Male privilege is being able to talk and say sexist, misogynistic things and get away with it.
Why do women not need to carry a watch? Because there's a clock above the stove.
Male privilege is being able to be figureheads, being able to be the epitome of God in religions.
I have studied folklore, and it is interesting to see how civilization went from worshipping fertility goddesses to worshipping more of a patriarchal god figure. But calling that sexist seems like quite a stretch to me.
Good question, but I don't care.
Last one. Male privilege is being able to rape someone, and the conversation won't be about you. The conversation will be about the rape victim, the clothes she was wearing during that time, how her behavior may have led you on and so forth.
And the conversation of male rape victims is usually one of ridicule and mockery. Also, there's a lot of good reasons to ask a rape victim what they were wearing. For one thing, the garments could contain valuable forensic evidence. Another is that after a trauma, sometimes people's memories of the assault could be disjointed. So asking what they're wearing may help them remember the exact details of the incident.
What we need to do, babe, is use this male privilege to teach our sons, teach our brothers, teach the men in our life to treat women better.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, do you feel like you understand what male privilege is now? I did actually cut quite a bit of the video down, but I will link the original video down in the description box so you can watch it for full context. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I wish all of you a pleasant rest of your day.